Hey there, this is Jessica Borden, and today we're going to work on enhancing your KW agent site with custom lifestyle pages. We're going to walk through this handy guide step by step so that you know exactly where to go and what to do to create these pages. Let's get started. So at the beginning of the guide, we're going to need a few things open so that we can work on the different pieces of the process. We're definitely going to need a KW command window, so go ahead and open that. We're also going to need your agent site open so that we can create the actual content for pieces of the page. So you're going to need to make sure that you open your agent website. Lastly, you may want to go ahead and open a ChatGPT window. If you already got an account, go ahead and log into that window. If you don't yet have an account, you will want to create an account before you get started. So now that we're ready to go, let's figure out exactly what we're going to do. So the first step, of course, is to identify what type of custom page that you want to build. Do you want to build a mortgage calculator? Do you want to build a Why Work with KW agent or company overview page? Do you want to build a custom page with code like HTML or iframe? Or do you want to build a neighborhood or lifestyle page, which is what we're actually going to cover today in the guide. So the first step in this process for a neighborhood or lifestyle page is to identify the location that you want to use on the page. That can be a city, a county, a school district, a neighborhood, zip code, etc. So the first window we're actually going to go to is our website window. So for this particular exercise, I'm going to use the zip code 37421, which is identified in my market as East Brainerd. We're going to get back to that. So the first thing we're doing here is creating a window that gives us the outline of the specific area that we're looking for. So this is the zip code 37421. From here, what we're going to want to do is to create a map screenshot of that area because we're going to use that later. Kind of a best practice that you might want to use is to set the minimum price to over, I would say, 100 million to make sure that you're not going to have any of these little property dots showing up. So what we're going to first do here is go to price. We're going to set a minimum, and we'll just actually do 25 million because there is nothing at 25 million in this market. All right, so on a Mac, there's a way to take a screenshot, and on a PC, there's also a way to take a screenshot. So in the guide, you're going to be able to see the Windows process and the Mac process for taking a screenshot. I'm going to go ahead and take that screenshot right now and grab this map. Okay, that's going to be on my computer for later. So now that I have my map, I know where I'm going to be working. I need to go to the consumer section of command and create the custom page to get going. So we're going to go to our command window now. On the command window, you're going to click on consumer. And if you haven't yet upgraded to the new website, it's going to say upgrade my site right here at the top. You're going to want to make sure you do that before you start working on this piece of the process. So I'm going to click edit my website, and it's going to open a new window for the editor. Inside of the editor, you're going to have a couple different ways you can create a custom page. So you have your custom page button here in Quick Start. You also have the plus sign at the top, which you can click custom page. So for our custom page we're building right now, I'm naming it the neighborhood or area name, which is East Brainerd. Remember, I told you we come back to that. When we go here to the page heading, that's this little gray part behind East Brainerd. We can add a background image. Of course, you could use that map that we just created so that it has kind of a map grid behind the word East Brainerd, or you could utilize a picture maybe that you get from a specific editor for photos. You can get royalty-free images from various websites. Pexels or Pixabay are great options for that. So this is Pexels, Pixabay. Those are great options. So what you can do is you can search for Chattanooga, Tennessee, and it's going to give you any matches that it has. So we could just try Chattanooga. So here are some royalty-free images of Chattanooga right here. Okay, so you could absolutely use something from this particular area in order to create an image, or, you know, go take your own image, whatever you would like to do. For this particular process, I'm just going to use the map image just so to make it really easy, okay? So in order to add a background image, it's going to actually have us click there and open this particular image editor. So what we're going to do is click on New next to Create Image. We're going to call this East Brainerd Map. And we're going to search for, in the new upload, the map that we just created. So there is the East Brainerd map right there. So we're going to save that. And now we can click the back button, select the East Brainerd map, and close that window. So now see, we have this little map behind the word East Brainerd. You could absolutely use a different image or not use an image at all and just leave the gray bar behind it. It's definitely up to you. So from here, we're going to go back to our guide to begin working through this process. Our next steps, we already named the page and added this particular header image. We want to go ahead and add modules to this page. So when we're looking at the page, you're going to see page contents here, add module. So our first module that we're going to want to add is called a stat list. A stat list is a great way for us to add some great content to the page. Really quickly, I'm going to switch over to my phone to show you the best practice on how to get the information for the stat list. You can see that I have a screenshot here of the mobile phone. You can use your KW Consumer app to source local data points via a neighborhood search. So give me 1 second and I'm going to switch over to that page. Okay, so we're here on my mobile device. I'm going to go to my KW Consumer app. What I can do is I can actually look for a specific area in order to pinpoint what I'm looking for. So if I go over here in my consumer app, I could search for East Brainerd. And I can look for East Brainerd, Chattanooga, Tennessee. And then from here, I'm able to look at some of the stats. So we have a walk score, which is fantastic for us to know, as well as what locals say. So our walk score is 23%, and it says there's travelers here. They like luxury culture, they're politically engaged, nature, fitness, hipsters. You can always see more. Historic, coffee culture, fashion, outdoorsy, civic engagement, and vehicle enthusiasts. So perhaps we utilize things like fitness, coffee, fashion, or outdoors in order to make it a relevant situation. So then I'm going to go ahead and leave this. I still have it open on my phone. So as we move toward editing this page, we can make the title something like statistics and the description, anything we might want to say, or we can actually leave these fields blank if we want to just focus very wholly on the stats. So let's look at this using the stat lists. So we're going to go ahead and click Add Stat. We're going to make the title Walk Score. And then we're going to make the value 23%. And then we're going to add another stat. We could say what locals love. Fitness, coffee, outdoors. From here, we now have some statistics about the area. We can add as many of these as we would like. The next thing that we can do is add a call to action. So you'll see here, use the call to action button as an external link to a pre-created search for homes in a neighborhood. I'm going to show you how to do that now. So we're going to slide back over to our website where we were searching for the specific zip code. We're going to go back in and reset the minimum price to 0. And now all of our listings have come back. We're going to resort low to high days on site and click apply. This is going to give us the most recently listed properties, so the fewest days on the site, lowest days, for a variety of property types. If you wanted to isolate the property type to houses, townhomes, condos, etc., you could absolutely do this, such that you have more pictures of homes. From here, this particular URL that you have now generated is an evergreen URL. This URL can be used anywhere at any time, and it will always show you the most recent properties for sale in that zip code that match these set requirements. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this URL and go back over to our custom page builder. Under the call to action, I'm going to click external because we want an external link. You could say view homes for sale. And then paste the URL. So now what this URL button will do is it will take them to the evergreen link that you've created and show them this exact listing of properties. And if they click on it 6 months from now, it will show them the 6 months from now list of properties. So now that your call to action has been complete, you can now go to add an additional module. So we're going to add what we call a rich text module. In this rich text module, we're going to put information about East Brainerd. Why live in East Brainerd? Okay, so from here, we're now going to utilize our ChatGPT window. So in our ChatGPT window, you can see an example of the prompt that I've previously used. So I'm actually going to copy this prompt and paste it back into ChatGPT and change this to East Brainerd, Tennessee. I'm going to make it case correct. And then from here, I'm going to have ChatGPT generate for me a prompt about East Brainerd. Of course, you will have to make sure that this is edited for fair housing. Once it's complete, if you need to make any adjustments, you can. So this right here is against fair housing. So we would want to make sure to say, rewrite considering fair housing guidelines, remove school and families references. So now once we have a much better version, we can go ahead and copy that to our clipboard. We can paste it into this rich text module. actually am going to get rid of this bit right here, as well as my Grammarly prompt. So the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add our map image here. So you can click on this image tool and then click on image. And then you can actually just add the item because the item is already in our image section. If you needed to upload a file, maybe you didn't put the image into the map into the header image, you could utilize the upload file in order to pull the map in. So from here, you now have this particular setup. You have some statistics, you have a nice setting of information, image. You could add additional images if you wanted to. If you wanted your image to be above the Why Live in East Brainerd, your title could be blank, and you could come in and drop the title right here and format that to be bold. Okay, you can also adjust the size. So now we've adjusted the size. So this looks really, really sharp based on creating those two modules on the page. So now that we've added the call to action, we've used ChatGPT to add our text, we should now be able to publish our page. So now that we're ready to publish the page, we're going to go ahead and click publish. Okay, so now when we return to our dashboard, if we open our website as a clean new tab, under more, you should now see East Brainerd, and the page that we've generated is here with all of this great information. Now, there may be some editing you need to do in your rich text module. I did not remove these little number signs or these little stars. I may want to go back and make those edits, but all in all, our page is now complete. So we now have the ability for people to come in and see custom lifestyle pages about different areas of your specific market and then view the properties associated. When they click on view houses, you'll see that that search is going to match the search that I showed you earlier. It's even in the same exact order as it was earlier, and they can further filter this as needed. But the great news is if they begin clicking onto properties as a consumer, they're still inside of your ecosystem and can contact you directly about any property that is of interest to them. So that is the completion of the guide. Thank you all so much for watching, and we appreciate you tuning in to Success is Under Your Command if that's how you learned about this particular module. Otherwise, thanks again. Have a great day.